In this video, Rufai Hussaini and Ruben Ambatin are speaking concerning the addition to the Electoral Law of 2026, which include belonging to two political parties and vote buying, and the appropriate punishment ascribed for those two offenses. According to the new amendment to the Electoral Law, it seems that vote buying is more tolerable than belonging to two political parties. So guys, I want you to watch this video so that you can bear your mind. Kindly like this video and subscribe to my channel.
But for President Tinubu this morning, I'm not shocked with what President Tinubu is saying. You know why he's saying all of that? Because the game is in favor. But him saying he's a dire Democrat is not acting democratic. Everything, with the majority they have in the National Assembly, even before now, the fact that they could muscle their way through, they're passing laws to favor them, which is an aberration to democracy. For further reading, you can read about, books like The Prince, books like Baron de Montesquieu, or Separation of Powers. And I'll give you instances. The Spirit of the Law. Yes, the book. Baron de Montesquieu. And I'll give you instances. In the 2022 electoral laws, Section 134 of the Electoral Act says, key grounds for election petition: non-qualification of candidates. This includes constitutional breach in Section 65, 106, 131, forgery of educational certificates or false information in affidavits submitted to INEC. 2022 law. 2020, Dr. But why did you chuckle when I said forgery? I would have loved to know why you chuckled. Section 138 of Electoral Act 2026. It's just been narrowed to two grounds: election being invalid due to corrupt practices or non-violence, the respondent not being duly elected by majority of the law and vote cast. In that, you narrowed it to two parts. Why did we pull out forgery of certificates? Why did we pull out other parts? Isn't the integrity of the certificates of people that are supposed to lead us paramount? But guess what you now did? You now went ahead, because they want to block people from moving to another political party, because the intention is to block other political parties. They now put in such a way that membership of another political, they just amended that one yesterday, membership of two political parties will get you a 10 million fine, all right, and 2 years imprisonment. But guess the interesting thing, Ayo. The penalty for vote buying is 5 million. Political two-party membership, so 10 million. Yeah. Okay. So they would rather vote buying happens in an election. Although they also put a section there that, okay, you'll be banned from electoral process for 10 years. But the penalty for vote buying is 5 million and 2 years. Having been in two political parties, 10 million. That was an added addendum. They just added that to it. It was not part of the first law they passed. That was what they talked about yesterday. So they've added that to it. We all know all of this is to stifle the opposition. That's as if President Tinubu is not being democratic. If somebody that served in his cabinet has been able to push PDP aside in such a way that even if PDP goes ahead to provide a candidate in presidential primary, he's going to be a weakened candidate. And at the same time, you've made laws in such a way that if the primaries does not favor the other people in the political parties, they can't move away. So you've boxed them in. And you are saying you are being triumphant. And you quickly signed the law in less than 24 hours. And guess what? You deliberately sidestep the concerns being raised, for instance, by IPAC, as regards making it one way to be able to have party primaries, as regards making it, okay, there's no delegate system, but there is direct primaries. You accept that concern, and you are saying, oh, the game is sweet when you're winning. It's because you're in power, you can get away with all of this. And that's not the kind of democracy we want. President Tinubu has over 30 governors. Why are we locking up with the electoral laws? Why are we pulling out sections that are important? I would have thought that after the debates around the certificate issue in the last election, we should have left that there. But that was pulled out. You remember I was telling you the other day that there are many things that they've pulled out of this law that we don't even know about. It's beginning to become obvious. And when it suits them, they're so quick to go and add addendum to the laws, just like they did yesterday. So is this a democracy we are practicing? It's not. It's because it favors you and you can use the will of power. I know what a lot of people will say is, Rufai, if now you're not going to do the same, does it make it right? Because the same President Tinubu was taking that when I was in opposition, I ate my humble pie. But this was how we spoke and advocated when he was in opposition. I've said some of the things that they were done then was not right. So it will be on record we are saying these things for posterity's sake. And the whole world should hear it now. Because these things will not augur well for democracy. Let's now watch and see. Okay, after they win elections and they make all the laws to favor them, are they not going to tinker it with it afterwards? Because you see, those that are making this law forget that at some point it will also affect them. Let's be guided by transparency and the truth. So it's easy for him to say all these things.
Okay,
I yield the
it's
floor.
sweet only when one is winning.
Oh, yes.
Dr. Abati, your take on this.
Okay, it's sweet when one is winning. That's what every politician believes in. Politicians are into politics not to go and sell ice cream. They're into politics just to win. The problem we have in Nigeria is that people want to win at all costs. A wise man once told me that, look, in the electoral process, strategy is everything. How you adopt that strategy, just make sure you win and let the other party go to court. That's the principle behind this idea of go to court. But unfortunately, the experience that we have had in Nigeria is that there are issues of credibility and trust, either with the electoral process or, with the post-election litigations that we have had. Now, two things about what the president said about rule of law. He was having what they call IFTA, the breaking of fast, with members of the All Progressives Congress and also members of the Inter-Party Advisory Committee, IPAC, it is called. So he was talking to a political audience. And two issues that he raised. One, he said he's a die-hard Democrat and that he believes in the rule of law. That's an important statement. Now, what those who disagree with him should be saying is that, yes, he cannot believe in anything else other than the rule of law. Because as president of Nigeria, he swore to defend the Constitution of Nigeria. And it must be seen in every particular material to be defending the integrity of that Constitution on which he swore to defend on oath. So there isn't much controversy about that. But in evaluating, his approach, then you can look at whether he's in fact defending the rule of law. He has also said he's a die-hard Democrat. You may also raise questions about that. How democratic is he? After all, we have been in this country where, the federal government of Nigeria routinely disobeyed, court rulings, either by the courts of Nigeria or the West African, court. The courts were just treated shabbily. So all this will form part of the review of the Tinubu administration. The second thing, he talked about governance, that he also believes in governance. That is also for Nigerians generally to assess, to look at, and to say whether under President Tinubu we had good governance. Opinion is divided in that regard. When you look at the economic reform, the government is generally supported by the international groups, rating agencies, the World Bank, the IMF, and all that. But it is for Nigerians, at the end of the day, to say whether during the reign of Olugbon or during the reign of Arisa, this was their particular experience. I'm trying to paraphrase a popular Yoruba saying. And then, of course, he talked about direct primaries within the Electoral Act. Well, every politician will talk about what he or she thinks favors him or her. And the president was saying, as a stakeholder in the process, that he thinks that direct primaries will work. Of course, the opposition parties do not, agree with that. They are, relying on what will be the delegate system, which they say is far more democratic. So opinion is divided on all of this. We cannot say categorically. But we can insist that we expect the president of Nigeria and all other players within that space to respect the rule of law. Otherwise, you have the rule of the jungle. And that is not what a responsible, properly run country should talk about. Now, about the APC dominating the National Assembly. Well, we have talked about a one-party state repeatedly, and whether Nigeria was descending into a one-party state scenario. But what we have now is not exactly the kind of situation we have in Burkina Faso, or that they have in, I think, Guinea, where Dumbuya has literally imposed a one-party state on the country. 40 political parties, scrapped in that particular country. But they are in Nigeria, either by persuasion or by threat or by some special alchemy, political engineering. You have almost all the political parties dissolving into the APC, to a situation whereby now the ruling APC has strong legislative leverage. If you have 84 senators out of 109, okay, currently there are 106 there in that Senate, and you have is it 231 or 236 in the House of Reps. You already have 2/3 majority. What it means is that anything that the APC wants going forward, APC can do. Even if they want to change any part of the constitution, they are well positioned to do so. So the literal interpretation of that will seem to be we now have a dominant political party, whether you want to call it a one-party state or whatever. The reality is what it is. The APC has already won even before the election, except something else happens ultimately. Take the Labour Party. Labour Party used to have about 8 members in parliament. They don't have anyone now. They have 0. NNPP used to have, I think, 5 or so. You know, they have been reduced to 1. YPP has at the national level just 1 representative. ADC has 1, which is that party that Senator...
ADC has about 5 or 6.
5? Okay. Yeah. Which is that one that Senator Seriake Dixon joined? NDC has 1. So you say there isn't so much weight. And PDP is reduced to 14. So you find a parliament that, is on the side of President Tinubu. Maybe that's what that wise man I refer to meant by strategy. Okay.
According to reports from different quarters, it was alleged that this administration is passing in laws that seems to favor them, because I can't seem to wrap my head around it, that vote buying is more of a lesser evil than belonging to 2 political parties, and it is obvious that they now have the majority in the National Assembly and they control most of the state. I believe that all these things are being done or probably being orchestrated ahead of 2027 election. So guys, what do you think? What is your take? Do you agree to the submission of Rufai Hussein and Reuben Abati concerning these electoral laws? Or do you have a divergent view? Please kindly drop your opinion in the comment box. And please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel so that whenever we drop a new video, you will be the first to receive the update. Thank you. God bless you.